Hey everybody, welcome back to Horseshoe Mountain Ranch. Today we're going to do a little bit of mowing because it's a rainy day, and we're not going to complain about the rain in the summer. It's always a good thing. There's been too many years where you didn't get any. So we're just going to touch up some places we missed earlier and stuff like that. And we're going to show you the safe way to deal with terraces. Most of you don't have them to deal with, but it's the same thing as dealing with steep land. Because after the 1930s Dust Bowl, the USDA or whoever it was called back then paid farmers to put in terraces to stop erosion. And our place is covered with them. And growing up with a Farmall Cub tractor, I don't know if you've seen one of them little things, but they got the motor sitting off to one side, and you could turn one of them over in a heartbeat if you ain't careful. So from a young age, it was preached to me the safe way to deal with hills, that the only guaranteed safe way to do this is straight up and straight down. And that's true. You know, you can't roll over sideways if you're not sideways. So, you know, that's a little common sense logic to that. But it makes it irritating when you're mowing some of this, the way you have to do it if you want 100% touched up and looking real pretty. Now, if I was using a sickle mower, you can let that bar hang off the side and it'll do a pretty good job. But if you're using a bush hog, you can't do that. You will land on your side. So I'm just going to do a little bit of this, and then when I get to the terrace part, I'll pick it back up then. I don't know why I left this little strip here. I guess it didn't match the pattern of how I was aiming when I did this field in sections. And sometimes your geometry doesn't work out. So I'll let you follow along here for a couple of minutes, and then we'll pause until we get to one of the big terraces. Okay guys, I finished up some of this other trimming and I'm ready to start on terraces now. And what you got to do, I know this doesn't hardly look like it on the GoPro, but this transition from the upper to the lower part of the terrace is pretty steep. I mean, it don't look like much, but you can definitely turn a tractor over trying to do that. Sideways anyway. So what you got to do is back up, move over, back up, move over, back up, move over. Well, you get the idea. But it's really your only safe way to do this. And I know this just doesn't hardly show on the camera, but that's several feet in elevation change from the upper to the lower. And we've got some of them here on the farm that are a lot steeper than that. They are, some of them's 5 feet from the upper to the lower. And when that happens over a 3, 4, 5 foot distance, that's pretty steep. Now this takes a long time, but like so does everything worthwhile. If you want it to really look good, this is about your only safe way to do it. Like I said though, if you've got a sickle mower or one of them fancy new hay cutters, you can lay them down and they'll follow the contour of the land pretty good if you got them set right. And you can do that pretty easy. But I don't have mine on here right now. The bush hog is already on here. So, guess what we're using? Yep, the bush hog. Of course, this poor old thing ain't got much life left in it. But I don't even remember how old this thing is, but it's been patched back together so many times. Pieces stolen off of other ones and put on this one and welded on. Things are bent, but you know what, it's still cutting, and I ain't buying another one until there's absolutely no putting it back together. that's what us poor folk do. So, the rain is kind of slacked off a little now. But you know, that's the great thing about a cab tractor. You can save a lot of these chores for rainy days when you can't be doing nothing else. You know, I mean, if it's miserable hot or miserable cold or raining or whatever, you know, you can get some of them tractor chores done. And back before I had a cab tractor, you used to do your tractor work on pretty days. Well, now you don't have to waste them on tractor work. You can use your pretty days for something you like doing. And of course, for those who are allergic to getting stung and things like that, I mean, it's really nice to not have to worry about hitting a hornet's nest or something. And, you know, you stay clean. Where you bush hog in an open tractor, when you get done, you're filthy as that pigpen character on Charlie Brown. But with a cab tractor, you could wear your Sunday best and go bush hogging. If you had Sunday best. I don't think I have anything that's better than the other. But this is how you do it. I know this is awful exciting, folks. And I'm probably not doing as good a job as I normally would do, especially with trimming around the edges and stuff this year, because we're going to be moving and selling this farm. So, you know, yeah, right before we list it, we'll probably gussy it up pretty good then. But just, you know, the motivation is kind of gone right now. We've been working on the new farm, and we got a long ways to go on it, but we're making progress. But with the rain chances this weekend, we decided it wasn't worth the risk of driving 5 hours just to get rained out. So we thought we'd just stay at home and get something done around here. And I'll probably go take some pictures, but we got some new baby goats born yesterday. They were kind of unexpected, they weren't planned, we'll put it that way. These were a couple little young ones, let's say, that they weren't quite old enough to be bred. And the billy goat broke his way into their pen. And so, we've got a couple little mamas, who are sisters, and had their babies on the same day. So, it's like they planned it that way or something. So anyway, folks, if you got to deal with steep property on your farm, when you're out there on your tractor or side by side or anything, if you go straight up and straight down, you're never going to have to worry about flipping over. Well, I guess there's always an exception. I guess there could be a gigantic hole that one wheel drops off in. But mostly, you'll be okay. So, anyway, guys, I'm glad you got to hang out with me today. And as always, if you get a chance to come on back by, I'll leave the gate open for you.